Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Five of Swords. Five of Swords is okay. Five of Swords is showing that at least there is some thinking going on, right? At least we're concerned about something. I think maybe you're kind of stressed out about life right now, all right? Maybe it's not anything in particular. Maybe it is. Not sure yet. But you're somebody who you're somebody who worries. You know, you're somebody who, when things are sort of settled and calm and there's nothing going on, there's nothing to think about, nothing to figure out, nothing to worry about, you start to get worried, It's almost like, wait a minute, it's too quiet in here. Something must be going on, And so you like to have, you like to be aware. This is a vigilance. This is an active mind. This is a problem-solving mind. You love to solve problems, and you're good at it. Let's make sure we're not going around looking for problems or making problems, even worse. So we got to put this card into some context, but I think this is very good energy for you. There might be a little bit of concern, though, that that there is kind of a lack of certainty about something. I wonder if this is talking about a particular problem. We're going to put this into some context and see. Well, I flipped it upside down. Look at that. Oh, that, that's sort of meant to be. And I very often, when we have the Five of Swords, I very often flip it upside down. Let's put Spirit back on top. Let's let Spirit take the wheel. If we're having trouble shifting or sorting out all of these alternatives or different perspectives or different ideas, if we have doubt, sometimes, if we can't figure it out on our own, sometimes it's best to just kind of let it go. Sometimes it's best to just say, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Okay? But it doesn't absolve us from the responsibility of trying to figure it out, right? You're still going to worry about stuff, but we're also going to realize that everything's going to be okay. When the card's like this, it kind of feels as if the spirit is being crushed under the weight of the circumstances. But this way, what I say is the right way, spirit is triumphing over the details, over the force of the material world, the circumstances. Yeah. So I like this. But we're going to leave it the way we found it, right? That way, with the central point facing downward, and say that, yeah, this might be a situation that we're having trouble not worrying about, right? Anytime we get a 5, we start looking for the 4. Maybe we need a 4. There's a 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, sure. The Ace of Cups, yeah. The Death card, Scorpio, interesting. That is your power card. This is the card that rules the sign of Scorpio. So that is your superpower right there, okay? And we've got the universe. This is very, very good. We have a Knight of Wands, an Ace of Wands, a 10 of Cups, holy cow. 10 of Pentacles and Cups. That's really, really good. And finally, of course, the Star. Why not? You got all the best cards here. So we've got this doubt, we've got this worry, we've got this concern, we've got this problem that we're trying to figure out. I think that you are going to figure it out, and it's going to be the absolute very best, right? It's kind of a big warning. This is a big, wait, there's something very stressful going on, and nothing is going to be the same after you figure this out, but it's going to be different, but in a good way, right? So I think this is it. I think you're realizing the solution to your problem that's going to unlock the infinite success, the infinite progress. The 10, it's not just a 10. The 10 of Pentacles is the way of saying a lot of pentacles. As many pentacles as you can imagine. It's only a 10 because that's how we count here in the West, we're on the decimal system or whatever. We're on the base 10. We do 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, and then a lot, right? Some cultures, they count 1, 2, and then a lot. Or base 12 or base 5, 7, whatever. I think that's how it works. I don't really know. I'm not a mathematician. But this is not a limited outcome. This isn't a finite goal necessarily. This is something that is going to grow and expand really like as infinitely as you can imagine. And that's the idea here, that this is only going to grow as big as you can sort of will it to grow. If we're thinking small, we're going to achieve small. If we're thinking big, we're going to achieve big. If you're limiting yourself, then we're going to be limited, right? So with the 5 of Swords and a 10 of Pentacles, it's kind of like we're finding the solution. We're finding a way to kind of deal with the stress and the worry in a way that's, well, really what we're doing is we're letting Spirit take the wheel. We're putting Spirit back on top. And in this position, there is no limit to our success. There is no limit to our happiness, to our satisfaction, right? We have the Pentacles and the Cups, unlimited money, unlimited good times, right? Yeah, it's extraordinary. And even the Universe card, it's infinite. So it really is a matter of belief, I think, and problem solving and sort of dealing with the doubt, dealing with the various alternatives, that we have in front of us. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. I swear I just heard a bell ring. We're going to set this down right here with Alien, Simon Mork, Ripley right on top. Now, don't forget, Scorpio, you are magic. We're not going to look at that confirmation card until the end, but it will give us the conclusion, and it will tie everything together at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments down below. All right, let's take a look around the room. We got some good major arcana energies. We've got your superpower card and the universe and the star, right? It's kind of the fulfillment of your destiny. It's the realization that there is no limit to your fate, to your destiny. Sometimes we think of destiny, right? The star card, sort of our path being revealed to us. There is no limit. And the star card, I think, is a very important card for you right now, because it is, in this configuration, reminding you that it's a never-ending process, a never-ending evolution, an expansion of life. The star card does 2 things. First thing, shows us who we are. Helps us answer the question, who am I? What am I made of? Shines a light inside our soul, shows us where our knots of karma are, shows us our weak spots, shows us our buttons, right? Shows us where we need to grow a little bit and evolve, where we need to do the work, right? Reminding us that work never ends. Just as, the death card, if this represents you and your spirit, your soul, right? There is no limit to your potential. There's no limit to this, to how we can grow and develop as spiritual beings, okay? And this is the death card. It's going to continue. This is the fundamental force of change in the universe. It will never stop. It's not in a hurry. It's going to get to everybody. But it's slow and steady. On and on forever, infinitely, right? And the star card, of course, reminds us that the work of spiritual growth, the work of the self-work, the inner work, the spiritual work, is not a finite process. There is no end to it. It sounds scary, right? And it can be, right? The phase 2 of this card also is when that light starts to shine out from us and shows us where our path is, shows us what we're meant to do, shows us what choices we need to make. It illuminates those things in the outer world that we need to interact with and engage with, both to further our inner work and to sort of further our outer work, you know? There's no limit to the outer work either. There's no limit to what you can achieve internally, spiritually, in your self-development, your evolution. There's no limit to what you can achieve out in the world, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in this sort of, well, you know, the external world, if we can call it that. In terms of your earthly life, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Your path, your destiny, it's not a destination, right? It's a discovery of that path, and every moment there's another thing to do. There's another movement to make. Every moment there's kind of another thing to worry about, right? But at least with the 5 of swords here, at least we know we're moving. If we had the 4, right, it would feel as if we're not making any progress. So I think you don't like to have the 4s. You don't like to have that sort of stagnant feeling. You're driving a car, you want a couple bumps in the road. You want to feel you like a really tight suspension, where you can feel all the bumps, but you can handle the turns really, really well, right? Where you take these luxury cars, right? Not that I've ever been in one, but I'm assuming the luxury cars have these adjustable sort of shocks in the suspension where you don't feel the bumps in the road. I was reading about the Cadillacs. They sense the road in the front so they can adjust the shocks for all the bumps in the road. And I was like, what? I need to know when the road's bumpy, And it's like that in life because it's through those bumps that we remember that we're moving, that we're making progress, right? We don't want the smooth, gentle glide. Sometimes we do. Let's be honest, right? But you, in your energy right now, you don't want the slow, gentle glide. You like to know you're making progress. You like to know that you can handle the curves really well. You got that really tight suspension. You can take the corners really fast, It's nice. It's a sort of Formula One style, right? I don't know if was Senna a Scorpio? Maybe. No, he was Aries, I think. So I feel that you like to make the progress, you like to feel the bumps, you like to have problems to solve because it's just like making progress, like I got something to do always, right? And I think it's like that in life sometimes where we don't always give ourselves any downtime because it feels like I'm not doing anything. I need to make some progress. There's, for me too. And I don't mean to bring everything back to me, but we've got a pretty busy life here, And I don't always give myself time to rest or relax because when I sit down for a moment, I feel like there's a lot of things I need to do. I've got a to-do list that's a mile long. Yeah. And so I don't always take the time to just kind of sit and relax and recuperate and restore myself, right? There's always another problem to fix. And so I feel as if you're very busy. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of bumps in the road. But with the 5 of Swords, I'm feeling like you're not worried about it. This is the journey. This is the road, And in that sort of way, you kind of like to feel the bumps because it lets you know that you're making progress. So anyway, the star card, yes, the sort of infinite nature of the path, that it's not a finite destination, right? That it's an ever-evolving and moving sort of goalpost, with the 10s here. Of course, your spiritual energy up top with the with the Death card. The Universe card here again is sort of showing the expansiveness of your world, infinite potential. That you're taking your life in unbelievable places, right? And we may be talking about physically relocating. We may be talking about building a business or a financial future, right? There's no limit to how much money you can make. It's just all about your attitude, big time about your attitude, and it's about your effort, right? So we've got our majors, we've got our fire cards, we've got our water cards, we've got our air cards, we've got our earth cards. So we're pretty balanced here. I think that you're on the right track here, and really nothing's going to be the same for you. That there's always progress, right? This 10 is the picture of your best life. You have to be willing to add on to this. It's not a 10. It's not just 0 through 10 and that's it. No, it's 20. It's 1,000. It's 100,000. It's 1,000,000, right? It's whatever you want, whatever you sort of choose, whatever you believe is possible for you. But with the 7 of Swords down beneath the surface, I feel that sometimes we get overwhelmed by choices. Spirit's saying that you have some connection with storms or rain. I don't know if rainy days are special to you or something significant happened to you in the rain or on a kind of stormy day or something like that. Maybe when it rains, you've got some sort of pain that acts up when it's rain or when it's wet or something. Because I feel that there's some kind of there's some sort of a muscle issue. And there's the connection with rain or with storms, yeah. Maybe it's the kid who, we don't like rainy days because it means we can't go outside and play. It means we got to find something else to do, that now there are alternatives. Now we have to find a little detour when there are, when something is sort of blocking the way. It's raining today, I can't go outside and work in the yard, right? I got to find something else to do. This is sometimes a little bit of doubt or pessimism, though, right? This is sometimes the idea that there are just too many options, and I don't like that, Sometimes we get overwhelmed by choices. Sometimes life seems like it would be easier if everything were already figured out, everything was already absolute in its truth, in its factual nature, and there's nothing for me to decide. Because the 5 of Swords, it's sometimes difficulty in deciding the path. And the 7 of Swords is there's too many choices, I can't decide, right? So I think there might be a little bit of that going on with you. And maybe the infinite number of pentacles and cups are reminding us that we don't have to take each decision so seriously. That there is room enough for everything. And maybe putting Spirit back on top here, letting Spirit take the wheel is kind of, in a way, it's easing us of the burden of having to choose between all of these alternatives. Okay? The point that you need to stay focused on, no pun intended, is that Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is your love, your devotion, your commitment, is the absolute purity of your intention, of your heart, right? If you have a pure heart, then you're going to make the right choice. And it's not easy, but you don't have to worry so much about it. Let Spirit guide you a little bit. Let your heart guide you a little bit. Don't overwork your mind trying to figure out all these alternatives. It's kind of like you got 100 different kinds of cereal that you can choose from. Follow your heart. Follow what feels like it's going to be the best for your path. And maybe it's going to be okay. Maybe you're going to like it. Maybe you're not going to like it. But, it's cereal. Who cares? Right. But in a way, it's realizing that I'll put in my best sort of mental effort, but the rest of it, I just gotta give it to God. Give it to Spirit, to the divine energy, and let my heart guide me. Because if we stay in the 5 and 7 of Swords, we're never going to make a choice. We're never going to figure anything out because there's too many alternatives, and I'm spending too much time worrying about them, thinking about them, and trying to figure them out. It's a paralysis, really, right? And what we're trying to do is not be paralyzed. We're trying to make slow, steady progress. So any choice, really, is better than no choice at all. if it's coming from your heart, if it's coming from your purity, and if it's leading us, in some way a little bit further toward our success, our expansion, our abundance, right? Our growth, right? And because this is, again, slow and steady change. We're not talking about abrupt, like overnight changes, right? It's life evolves. We evolve one decision at a time. But if we're so wrapped up in our head that we can't figure out what to do, we're not doing anything. For me, and I always use this analogy, and I apologize, but it's a constant thing for me. At night, when I'm trying to figure out what to read, I have an hour of time where I can read in the evenings. And, there's so many alternatives, I have difficult time deciding, just 7 and 5 of swords. I spend the entire hour trying to figure it out. I never read anything. I never grow. I never evolve. I never read anything, learn anything. I never have that experience. I never actually make a choice and utilize that time. So in some ways, me just picking up anything, picking any book and reading it would be a better usage of my time than sitting here worrying about it, trying to figure it out for the whole hour. Better just read anything, comic book, magazine, the back of the cereal box, it don't matter. Something is better than nothing in that case, all right? But when we're talking about following the heart, this is the equivalent to me having a list of books that I've already decided are worthwhile for me, that I want to read, right? They're all on a list. I have a list. You see in my video description, I got a book list. My actual book list is about 10 times that size, right? But I can't fit it all into the YouTube description. In fact, if you want to email me, I'll send it to you. That's the list of books. So that's me with all of the heart stuff there. So when I make a choice, I just pick through that. I don't know if it's a few hundred, books or whatever. I choose between those books, and any choice is going to be a relatively good choice, right? Because they've already been sort of vetted beforehand. Because I already know that that list is already sort of resonating with my heart. It's always something that I know is going to be, if ever you're in doubt, just pick from the list, And so I feel like this is the similar energy for you. That we have to learn to just pick something as long as it's in the realm of what is good and right for you, in your purity, in your intention, in your love, in your heart, etc. Okay? Rather than trying to find out and trying to spend our whole life figuring out what is the exact, perfect, right decision to make right at this moment. We're spending a lot of time in that process rather than saying, I got a list, I'm just going to pick one out of the list, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay? Because in your case right now, any choice is going to be a step in the right direction. Okay? Spirit's telling me that there's something going on with your heart. Or I don't know if it's yours or somebody else's in your family close to you. It's not a medical reading. I'm not giving you a diagnosis, but it's already a thing. It's already something that's established, right? It's something you already know about, but it's meant to be a confirmation here. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. It doesn't cost anything, but it does support the channel, and I appreciate that. Your general energy is the Prince of Wands, and this is feeling like a sustained interest in something. This is feeling as if making these choices, the way we've been talking about, everything on the path of the dove here, that this sort of way, this perspective of things is able to sustain your interest, to sustain your effort in the long term. Rather than we're sort of losing interest, or we sort of get discouraged, right? Or we sort of start just feeling tired and fatigued and not really caring so much about making this progress. Now, maybe we're talking about your business or your maybe your career or whatever, your family stuff, your relationship, your creative life, your spiritual life, whatever we're talking about. This is the excitement and the enthusiasm and the zeal to persevere, to keep going, right? But I feel like this energy is going to decline. It's going to wane considerably if we get stuck in these swords cards and we're not able to do anything. In other words, every step you take forward is going to renew your confidence. When we get stuck here, this confidence is fading. Okay? So again, it's this idea of any choice is better than no choice at all. A step in any direction is better than just sort of staying here, staying put, and stressing out about things. Okay? As long as it's in the realm of what is good and pure and wholesome for you, it's, you select from that particular list and it's going to be all good. Because I think that it's through making decisions, solving the problems, moving forward, taking action is what is going to really sort of arouse you and get you confident and get you get your vital energy up again, right? Get you feeling strong again. And then we're going to be looking forward to the next thing. So for me, I instead of me toiling and worrying about what book I'm going to read and trying to figure it out, I take my list, I pick one, I read it. And then I've got a commitment. Then I've got something to focus on. I've got something to do, and it feels good. And then eventually I finish the book. It's wow, and I could do it again. So it's motivating yourself. Right? Motivating yourself. And the Ace of Wands in the position of the environment is exactly this. Making a choice, making a decision, putting your effort into something. And in some ways, it doesn't matter what it is. Just so long as we are declaring, we are stating an intent, we are taking an oath, I am going to read that book, and then I read it. Very simple, where I'm declaring something and I'm following through with it. I am going to stand up now, and then I stand up. I'm not going to do it. I'm sitting at a table. I'm on camera. And also because I'm wearing sweatpants, I'll be honest with you. The decision is what matters. The ability to focus your efforts and your intent, because see, this is wasting a lot of energy. This air energy, the swords here, this is really costing you a lot. But this is the ability to control our fiery energy, control our will, our concentration. We can start with even very simple things, and not that you're an indecisive person. I don't think that at all. But what I think is that we sometimes get caught up in trying to make the best decision. Okay, and that we sometimes are worried about, are we making the right decision? Did we make the right decision? Will I make the right decision? Right. So we can practice our willpower by simple things. We'll just making small decisions, taking small short-term oaths, promises to ourselves. In other words, we can say, I'm going to wake up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm at least going to wake up. Now, if I get out of bed or anything, that's a different story, but I'm at least going to wake up. So we'll set the alarm, and I'll wake up, and then maybe go back to sleep or whatever. Or it's, something even simpler than that, that says every day at 5 p.m., I'm going to stand up and stretch my arms and shoulders. It's easy, simple, right? I guarantee every time we hear that alarm go off, and we say, well, I'm kind of busy. I can ignore that. Right? That's not a big deal. It's just stretching. It doesn't matter, It's not really that important, right? Well, it is important because it's through these little drops in the bucket that we're able to fill up our willpower, and we're able to continue moving. And then decisions are going to come really easily. And then we're not going to doubt the decisions that we made. I made a decision, I'm going to do it. And that's the important thing. Not the after effects, not the results of what I do, but my ability to declare something and follow through with it. The will is what matters. The willpower is what matters. The intention is what matters. Because we know that the outcomes, the development, the progress is infinite anyway. The Ten of Cups. Sometimes it feels like the Ten of Cups, especially when we're on the path of the dove, feels like this is the energy that we don't want. And maybe this is the idea that we don't want the conclusion of something. That if something is finite, it makes the decisions really, if something is final even, right, it makes the decisions all that much more stressful. You know, because now it's like, wow, okay, I've got one, it's kind of like we're deciding our last meal. I got one meal to eat. I'm never going to be able to decide what that meal is going to be. For me, again, using the book analogy, it's like I feel in that moment at the end of the night that I've got one book that I can read, and it almost feels like this is the only book I'll ever read. How could I possibly choose? You know, it puts me in this state of panic almost, right? But if we realize, and when we get to the path of the serpent here, we realize that we need the Ten of Cups. We need the conclusions so that we can continue, you know, moving forward. We have to get stuff done if we want to get more stuff done. We realize that it's not the end of the road, that this isn't the last meal you're going to eat. This isn't the last book that you're going to read. It doesn't have to be that kind of final decision where there's so much weight now. It's like you're on a game show and it's like, this is the $1 million question. You decide what to, you're just like you're doing that game with the suitcases. What is that show? And this is it. You can get $1 million or you can get nothing. You got to choose. Which one are you going to choose? I don't know. In some ways we just close our eyes and we just randomly pick. Yeah. Because it's not the last meal, it's not the last book. But we do need that feeling of completing something, right? The satisfaction of getting something done, of reading the book at the end of the night where I am falling asleep. I'm thinking, I read for the hour, I feel better. You know, having used that hour in a way that resonated with me, that felt good and healthy for me. It doesn't matter really what I read, but just the fact that I did it. That I said I was going to do it, and I did it, you know? And so I feel like this is part of what the star energy is trying to show you. Some of the ways we approach the variation in life, the decisions, the alternatives, the choices that we have in life, right? Not every choice is like a life or death choice. Not every choice is has that weight to it. And at the same time is short, you know. At the same time, we have to have an idea, like again, with the book list. We've got to have an idea of the realm of possibilities here. I'm going to keep all my choices over here. These are the choices that I get to choose from. You know, and you know, maybe with the universe card, it's trying to expand on that a little bit too. Maybe I don't need to keep my own choices narrowed down to just that short few hundred book list. Maybe I'm being too narrow. Maybe I am being too restricted. Right? Maybe it should just be literally infinite choices. Any choice is a good choice. It doesn't matter what I read, you know. I don't believe that to be true. I think we need to have some sort of boundaries on ourselves, right? Just to sort of keep things contained a little bit. And so maybe this is some of the energy that we're sort of worried about, that if things are too infinite, if every choice is a good choice, how do we ever, then it doesn't matter what we choose. I could choose to read something just, I don't know what example, absolutely terrible, right? Is it really terrible, or is it just me sort of not liking that genre, and it's so if every choice is equal, then it takes away any meaning. And that's why I think we need our book list. We need to have things that we know are meant for us. We need to have this sort of heart and this purity of intention, or whatever you want to call it, that allows us to have some sort of we don't have to have hard borders around our lives, but we at least need to have sort of, things gathered together that we sort of resonate with, that we want to do. We have to have a realm of choices, but also staying open to new things coming in, right? It's very difficult, this life we have. But I like the Ten of Pentacles. I like the Ten of Cups for you. It is infinite abundance. There's no limit to your physical earnings, your physical abundance, and the satisfaction that comes with it. But we've got to make choices. We've got to go after things. Maybe you're trying to decide, what do I want to pursue? What work do I want to do? Right? What book do I want to read? What do I want to eat? What do I want to go after? Just start doing the things. Right? And the satisfaction, the benefits, the abundance will come. Your life is going to be very, very successful. Right? I think financially that's a big component of it too. Okay? You've got to just sort of commit to something and get it done. It's going to pay off. It's going to pay off financially as well as emotionally in terms of your fulfillment and your satisfaction. Let's look at the mystery card. I know this video is getting a little long. They've been a little bit long today across the board anyway. What are we thinking for the mystery card? Maybe more fire energy? No, maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna guess. You put your prediction in the comments and then we'll reveal what it is. The Justice card. Perfect. That's choice, right? This is every moment we are performing a judgment, a value judgment, every single moment, using our higher discernment. Every choice we make, every second of every day, every thought, word, and deed is a moment of choice, is a moment where our universe is going to split off in one direction or the other, where our timeline is going to go this way or that way, depending on what we choose. So this is using that higher discernment, and it's every situation that you're involved with, we're sort of weighing it. Is it good for me? Is it not good for me? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Is this beneficial or is this detrimental? When I'm looking at a book, should I read that book? Is it a good book? Is it too long? Am I going to enjoy it? Am I going to lose interest in it? And we start doing this. And if we allow it, this is going to become, we're just going to be doing this all day, all night. Well, this one's good, but this one's good too. Well, this one's better, this one's shorter, this one's more interesting, more exciting. Every moment of our life is a choice. We have to understand how to accept choice and how to be good at it, And then there's no limit to what you're going to achieve and what you're going to experience. The amount of satisfaction, and even if we're just talking about work or business or how you make money, right? It's there's no limit, but indecision, I think, is really going to be it's going to be a blockage to your success. Okay. Interesting that we get this. This card's all about decisions. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.